difference. Today is Yom Haatzmaut, the day in which we celebrate that 76 years ago, Baruch Hashem, we had the great Zuchus with incredible Siyata Dishmaya, incredible assistance and love from HaKadosh Baruch Hu to establish our beloved Medinas Yisrael. And we mark this day in many different ways, some with halal, with a bracha, without a bracha, some without halal. And as we speak about every year, the ikr is to give hodah, the ikr is to give thanks and express our gratitude to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for this incredible miracle that we are zocheh to have. That we have once again control over our ancestral homeland, that Torah could proliferate, that all Jews of all different kinds of Jews in Eretz Hashem could call our ancestral homeland actually home, that we have a Jewish army defending our borders. It's an ace, it's a miracle, it's a zchus, and it's something for which we must have profound gratitude to the Ribono Shalom and express that gratitude. I came across a beautiful article written by a woman by the name of Chana Salam, and it's titled Lachios Ba'aretz, or Lachiot Ba'aretz, what it means to live in the land. And she highlights just some of the simple beauty and some of the simple Kiddusha, and some of the simple things that sometimes, well, those of us who don't live there yet, perhaps don't have the opportunity to experience, but she's writing it from the perspective of someone who does have the opportunity to live there. And perhaps some of the things that can be taken for granted, but that are so beautiful. And she writes as follows. I want to quote to you part of the article. She says, Lach ba'aretz b'shvili zedagel Yisrael hatalei b'chalon. What does it mean to live, for me to live in Israel? It means to walk by a window and see the flag, the Israeli flag hanging there. It means Yom Rishon ba'otobus malei bachurei yeshiva v'chayalim b'derech lebasis maginim elu al elu. To live in Israel means getting on a bus on Sunday morning and seeing that bus filled with soldiers and yeshiva students. The soldiers returning to their bases, the yeshiva students returning to their yeshivas, each one guarding the other, each one providing protection for the other. Lachiot ba'aretz bishvili zelalechet berechov be'ir shatalo makir ulahargish babayit. To go ahead and live in Eretz Yisrael for me means to walk down a street in a city, in a place that you don't really know, that you don't really recognize, but yet to still feel at home. And she goes on, Lachiot ba'aretz bishvili, ze Chabadnikim b'tzomet v'afganot b'kikar. To walk down the street and see the Chabadnikim, right, with their tefillin stands and giving out Shabbos candles at the junctions, and the hafganot, the rallies, and the rallies, we'll call it, or the protests in the city square. V'hayecholet ha'absurdit hazot lahargish shayechet ba'omek lekulam, and in some absurd way to feel connected to all of them, to the Chabadnikim and to the demonstrators. She goes on, Lachiot ba'aretz bishvili zeliknot b'makolet b'safa b'dibru neviim. To live in Eretz Yisrael means to walk into the store, to walk into the makolet, the market, and to speak in the same language that the ancient prophets, the Nevi'im, spoken. U'l'shalim b'matbeya im shem shel shekel HaKodesh. And to be able to pay with a coin, with money, that is called shekel HaKodesh, that is called the shekel. Incredible. Lachiot ba'aretz bishvili. For me to live in Eretz Yisrael means lada'at sha'kol b'hashgacha, to know that everything occurs with divine providence. Hashgacha pratit, literally individualized hashgacha, individualized providence. Meireshit hashana ad acharita, from the beginning of the year until the end. Lachiot ba'aretz bishvili. For me to live in the land means zematosim shechozrim bizman milchama. This refers to planes, to flights, to airlines that are willing to fly back during times of war. Mikol kitzvot ha'olam, from all corners of the world. Be'emtza tiyul shel acharit tzava. It's incredible to be able to see airlines that are flying during the war, and more importantly, young people in the middle of their vacations, in the middle of their explorations, who are willing to stop everything and to come back home to help. Lachiot ba'aretz bishvili. For me, what it means to live in the land. Zelirot chayal b'madim u'largish shchina. To be able to see a soldier in his uniform. And when you look at him, you feel the presence of the Shekhinah, the divine presence. And when you see him, to stop and to utter a short prayer that he should come home, Eretz Hashem, l'shalom b'mehera, peacefully and quickly. Lastly, lachiot ba'aretz bishvili. For me, what it means to live in the land, zekeshametziut hayom yomit shali Hi chalom utfilot shel kol kach harbe dorot. What it means to live in Israel means for me that my everyday life is the actualization of the dreams and the prayers of so many previous generations. Such a beautiful and overwhelming, just simple articulation of what it means to have a homeland. And even though there are many of us who don't yet have the opportunity to live there, but to know that Baruch Hashem, that opportunity is there, to know that these words are true, even if we're not experiencing them in our day-to-day lives, that these words are true for so many of our brothers and sisters, and these words could be true for us if we choose to make that decision, we may choose to make that change, we choose to relocate to our ancestral home, that we have that ability, and that this is the reality for so many of our brothers and sisters. Baruch Hashem, that's a cause for celebration. That's a cause for gratitude. That is a cause for Hallel v'Hoda'ah and Shevach to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Today we celebrate a dramatic miracle, but there are still so many more miracles we need. We need the return of our hostages. We need the safety of our soldiers. We need the success of Klal Yisrael in this current war. We need the miracle of Mashiach, the miracle of the Beis HaMikdash, the miracle of Geula. Today is a day in which we celebrate a historical miracle. And in Meretz Hashem, may we be zocha to embrace and to receive all of the additional miracles we need. And may we be zocha to that. Mihir Rabbi Ameinu. Amen.